Welcome to the Path of Mantra podcast, where I share insights on yoga, tantra, and Shakti sadhana. This podcast is dedicated to all sincere spiritual aspirants from East and West who embrace mantra as a core tool of personal and spiritual growth. You can learn more about this project on shaktatantra.com. My name is Giovanni, and I am your host. I invoke the blessings of my Guru, Swami Nikhaleshwarananda, and of the great Goddess. The topic of today is what should you expect from your mantra sadhana? Well, in the beginning, it is better not to expect much. It is normal to have a lot of excitement about it once you begin to read the success stories or listen to other people talking about it, or even more if you read the traditional texts about what is possible by the power of mantra. You naturally become excited and go to the practice with big expectations. It's good to come to the practice with a lot of energy. And that's why the scriptures and the teachers, they say marvelous things about the power of mantra, and it's true. But this excitement, this peak of energy, needs to be grounded. It needs to be grounded on the understanding that this is a long-term path. That the benefits are real, but that they require the 3 F's of mantra: faith, focus, feeling. And that you will experience the benefits to the extent that you cultivate and put in faith, focus, and feeling. Also to the extent that you continue the practice. And it also depends on several other factors, including having chosen the right mantra, the right environment, karmic obstacles, other energetic obstacles, etc. But if you persevere, if you are sincere, if you are trying to grow these 3 key elements of focus, faith, and feeling, you will get somewhere. The obstacles will fall one after another. You're building up that energy. You're working on the cause, so the result has to come. Now, if your expectations are not grounded by a deep commitment that I am going to continue no matter what, I have faith in this and in myself. If your expectations are not grounded on that, then it's very likely that sooner or later you will give up. It happens with many people. So learning how to manage your expectations, how to be grounded in a deeper commitment and perseverance, that is essential for you to continue in the path of mantra and really get the benefits. Now, there are millions of people all over the world who practice meditation daily because it feels good, or because of the proven benefits for body, mind, emotions, relationships, etc. And they're focusing on their breath or something else that doesn't have that magical component, so to speak, of the mantra. So if everything else fails, your mantra practice at the very least is a meditation practice that is giving you the benefits that you would also experience from similar meditation practices. But it also has that additional dimension or possibility about it. Now, if you continue and persevere, if you're practicing every day, not for 5 minutes, you can start with 5 minutes, you can start with 1 minute, but that you increase your practice at least to 30 minutes a day. And you maintain that for a year, 2 years, 3 years, there's no way that you're not going to experience the benefits. you will notice certain shifts. I'm not saying that you should wait for 3 years to see that. It's possible, maybe even likely, that you experienced before. And if you're working with a teacher, you can check in every 3 months or so. Make sure that you're on the right path. After a while, the teacher may say, no, this is not the right mantra for you. Let's do something else. Now, when you're practicing mantra for a particular purpose, let's say to improve your finances, to grow in your career, to heal a particular disease, to become more recognized in your field, whatever it is, or maybe spiritual goals as well. You are creating an energy wave to produce a particular change in your life. And doing that elicits resistances. It's important to know that. Let's say that you have been struggling in your work. You don't feel recognized in your work. You're not being paid enough. You're not being given interesting projects. You're not happy about your work life. You want to try a solution of mantras to fix that. Now, the reason why that area of your life is not satisfactory could be many, but it's very likely that there's a karmic block. If you have been putting the effort and not getting the results, there's a karmic block. So according to your karma, it may be that in this lifetime, or at least in this period of your lifetime, it will be very difficult, or maybe even impossible, for you to experience fulfillment in this area of your life. And a skilled astrologer might be able to tell you that based on your chart. Now, as my guru says, there is a solution for everything in Tantra. And so there are mantras that will help you overcome this karmic obstacle and get those results. Let's say that you start practicing one of these mantras with full faith and focusing as well as you can, connecting to the mantra as well as you can. And then after a couple of months, something happens. You are given an interesting project and you perform well in that project, and people perceive your performance even more than your performance actually was, and you get a raise. And so you're happy. Well, the mantra is working. I have not achieved my end result yet, but it has definitely moved the needle. Let me continue with this mantra. Let me intensify the practice. Let me do more malas every day. And then you continue, and after 3 months, for no expected reason, you get fired. And then you are confused. I don't understand. Maybe the mantra is not working. Maybe this is all a lie. How can this be? It could maybe not work, but not go backwards. And then you stop the practice. And then sometime after that, you're looking for a new job, new work, and an amazing job opportunity comes your way. You interview for it and you get selected. You get the job. And this job involves more interesting projects. You are more well recognized, and you're being paid more. That's the result of the mantra. Sometimes you generate a little bit of energy to improve a certain area of your life, and things get worse because now you are shaking the monsters. You are trying to go against your stars, and your stars are fighting back. But you persevere, and you get an initial result. Good. But you want more than that. There are more obstacles. If you want more than that, there's more obstacles, which means that there's more effort you need to put. But the deity that is helping you through that mantra that deity knows that, okay, I gave him an upgrade here. He's not happy, he wants more. It's not going to be possible in this job. We're going to need to get him another job. But I know he won't look for another job. I gave him a dream, he didn't understand the message. So let's finish this job, and we'll make sure that the other job will come his way. And he'll be seen with favorable eyes. And so it happens. This took me years to realize that the ways of the divine are mysterious. It's not possible for us to fully understand. It's just not possible. We have a limited intelligence. These divine beings have limitless intelligence, or at least much more than we can imagine. And again, we come to the topic of faith. In the beginning, you may not have faith, but when this happens, if you're paying attention, if you're reflecting, if you are attuned, you may realize like, oh, that's what happened. And then you pick up your mala again and you continue to practice. So that's one point to keep in mind, that sometimes things need to get worse in that particular area of life before they get better. And I just gave this hypothetical example. When things like this happen in my life, initially I didn't understand. Over time, as I became more attuned, as I understood more the ways of the divine, then I began to see. Then I could not unsee. Now for me, it's a point where I am attuned enough that I know what to expect. And when something happens, I know if it was just a coincidence, if it was a result of the mantra, if it was a mysterious action of the deity. In many cases, that knowingness is there. Moving on to the other point. If you're doing a particular short-term practice, which is called a prayog. A prayog is an application of a mantra for a specific purpose. It may be that you're doing one mantra, 11 malas every night for 11 nights, or half an hour every morning for 40 days. These prayogs are from 1 day, 5 days, 11 days, 21 days, up to 140 days. So you did a prayog for a specific reason. How do you know if it works? You will receive a sign. If it worked, and if you are attuned, you will see a sign. There's one mantra that I picked up in the past as I was experiencing many different mantras. It was a particular mantra of the sun. And the day that I did that mantra is supposed to bring, among other things, financial abundance. The day that I did that mantra, as I was walking back home, I found some money on the street. And at that time I was in Brazil. There are lots of beggars. It's very unlikely that money is left on the floor and no one picks it up. And in the past, when I was not spiritually attuned, I wouldn't feel anything specifically about that. But this time I knew it's not my mind. It felt like a spiritual sign immediately. And then after that, I had to go to the pharmacy to buy something. I forgot what it was. And that item was 10 reais. Let me say $10 so you can relate. So I said okay, I want one of these. And she said, it's $10. I said nothing. I said, okay. And then she said, I'll give you a discount. I'll sell you for $6. And again, that's this is very unusual. Now, for someone who's not familiar how to read signs from the universe, you may say you're just reading too much into things based on coincidences. And coincidences do happen. I'm not the type of person that says nothing is a coincidence, everything is a sign from the universe. No, coincidences do happen. But when you do a particular practice that evokes a certain energy in an area of life, and then you get a signal in the same day, that means that it works. That means that that mantra is going to work for you. In Sanskrit, this is known as a nimitta, which is a sign or an omen. Many people who perform mantra rituals, they say that in the day that you finish the ritual, within 24 hours, expect a sign from the universe of some sort. If something good, unexpected comes your way, especially in that area of life, it's a sign that, yes, this has moved the needle, the work has begun. The real result may come in 6 months. Some people say 3 months to 1 year, expect the results like that. So the results may come later, but the sign that that has worked comes in 24 hours. That's what some teachers say. And in my life and practice, looking back, I find that yes, that has definitely been the case many times. Now, when it comes to internal experiences, this is the third topic on what to expect from your mantra practice. Several experiences may happen depending on your level of spiritual evolution, the type of mantra, the intensity of the practice, and many other factors. During the practice itself, if you're doing the mantra with eyes closed, which is typically the case, you may see visions or even beings. And if your awareness is sharp, you will see like, oh, this thing that I've just seen, this is not imagination, this is not memory, this is something that just happened here now. For me, this discernment came easily and quickly, simply because I was very bad at visualizing. A form of aphantasia. I just did not have any visual memory or visual imagination. So if I'm doing a particular mantra, and suddenly, with my eyes closed, I see a luminous being coming in front of me and looking at me, and then disappearing after 1 second. And that feels so real, like more real than me. Then I know that my mantra touched someone. They came to have a look. Maybe they were disappointed, that's why they left so soon. Or maybe I was not ready yet. But this type of experience will happen. Some people may hear sounds, like of a bell, or even celestial music in cases. You might experience a scent in the room that does not come from the room. This has happened for me several times. Depending on the nature of your practice, the scent will be different. But if you're not working with the fierce deities, the scent is usually going to be pleasant. If you're working with a very loving deity, it may be like a rose-like smell. In my experience, it's like that smell is manifested right under my nose, like someone put something in there. Another experience you will likely have is very particular dreams. As you begin doing a particular mantra, or right after an intensive sadhana, pay attention to your dreams. Start taking note of your dreams the first thing when you wake up in the morning. And these beings, these higher entities that we are trying to connect with, they usually appear first in dreams or in astral visions, as I just mentioned, but in dreams it's even more common. That's what most practitioners have, only their appearance in dreams. In the case of extremely advanced practitioners or intensive sadhana for a long period of time, there's also a physical manifestation of that deity in front of you. In Sanskrit, this is known as pratyakshikaram. That deity appears out of thin air in front of you in physical form. That is the completion of that sadhana. It is siddhi, or accomplishment. So I think that covers the main aspects of what to expect, what to not expect, when the results may come. How do we know if there is a message or not? And the type of experiences that we may have during or after the practice. I have a journal where I keep my experiences with meditation and with mantra. And for another episode, I may go through all of that and select a few that I'm comfortable sharing. So, once again, it's important to know that the law of karma applies to everybody, even to the gurus, even to the deities. The law of karma is universal. Someone once said playfully that after God created the law of karma, he rested because everything's taken care of. And when you're trying to overcome a karmic obstacle in your life or have something that is not within your karmic script, you are going against certain forces. You are stirring certain karmic forces, agitating them. The old karmas are coming up. They're coming up because you're asking the universe, give me this. And the universe is saying like, no, you don't deserve this. But you're saying, no, but I want this. Okay, so we need to go through this first. As you develop a deeper connection with your deity, if you are ready and willing, your deity may accelerate your spiritual growth by compressing your karma and accelerate your life by compressing your karma. What does that mean? If you are, this is an example, if you are in a marriage that is not working for you, that is making you unhappy, maybe your karma was to stay in that marriage for 10 more years and then eventually you would divorce. The deity, to help you, may compress those 10 years of suffering into 1 month, and then you divorce, and you're free. Got 9 years and 11 months back of your life to experience connection with someone else who may be more suitable for you, who may give you what your soul wants and needs. So that's also part of how this works. Your mantra may help you erase your karma, or in some cases, just kind of compress it in a way that is much easier and better. And that can be done if your connection with the deity is strong and the deity feels that you are able to go through that. I'll just share some more random thoughts that are popping up on this topic. And these episodes, they are not scripted, they are spontaneous. So that's the nature of this show. In the case that I mentioned about that mantra of the sun, it would have been a mistake if I do the mantra again tomorrow and then I expect to receive some unexpected money tomorrow, and then it doesn't happen and I feel like, oh, so it's not working anymore, it was a one-off or that was just a coincidence. No, the signal comes in the beginning just to point out the universe is talking to you symbolically, saying like, yep, this is going to work. Or no. Like if instead that day after that mantra, I have suddenly lost some money, then it's the way of the universe or the deity is telling me that this is not going to be good for you. Now, it could have been a coincidence. In either case, it can always be a coincidence. How do we know that it's not? I cannot explain this in any other way except that you need to be energetically and spiritually attuned. It has happened many times that something unexpected happens after I did a sadhana, and I feel nothing about it. So I know it's not a sign, an omen. When it is a sign or an omen, something suddenly clicks like, oh, there's something about this. There's an aliveness about that sign or omen. But again, that is only perceived if you are attuned. A friend of mine asked me for a mantra to help her with finances. I keep bringing these examples because that's often what people need help with. And I gave her a mantra and I gave her the instructions, and she did that mantra religiously to the dot. And she said that some real strange things began happening after that. She said that she decided to kind of just buy a lotto ticket, and she won $4 in the lotto ticket. It's nothing, like just $4. But her partner, which always plays lotto tickets, said like, oh, it's not that common to win $4. And then in the following weeks, as she was continuing the mantra, she bought lotto tickets 7 or 8 times. And 6 of those times, she won something. A little bit here, a little bit there. So I told her, this is a sign. Your practice, your mantra has moved the needle. It's not enough to give you the results you want, but it's a sign that this works for you. It has moved the needle. So to summarize, as this episode is becoming a little long, do your mantra practice with faith. You can do with excitement, with energy, but ground that in perseverance and long-term commitment. When you just started a new practice, or when you finish a particular prayog, short-term practice for a given result, try to be spiritually and energetically attuned to ways in which the universe may be communicating with you. It may be through dreams or through what is called as coincidence. Know that for you to make the changes you want to make in yourself or in your life, there will be karmic obstacles that you need to go through. At times, your current situation will need to be broken so that you can experience a bigger benefit. Sometimes, the deity will make you take a step backwards so that you can take 2 steps forward. Sometimes it may seem that this particular area of my life that I'm trying to improve just got worse. It's because you're shaking up those karmas so that they get burned and finished and worked through more quickly. I hope that with this episode you have gained a greater context, knowledge, and appreciation about what to expect from your mantra practice. Jai Mataji.